Bizarre story out of Virginia where a state delegate candidate came under fire for performing sex acts with her husband in front of an online audience while soliciting tips. Is that what they call it? Anyway, predictably, the left and the media mob are rushing to her defense. Meanwhile, if Biden stays in the race, will Democrats turn to a third-party candidate? According to reports, former Democratic 2020 candidate Andrew Young is now in talks with the No Labels group, mulling a third-party bid. Maybe Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on last night will do it. Here with reaction analysis, Fox News contributor Tulsi Gabbard. Great to see you. How are you?
Good to see you.
Great job on the 5 today.
Oh, thanks. That was fun.
Terrific. I don't know what to say about this lady. I mean, I let the voters decide. That's what I said.
Yes, of course, let the voters decide. You know, Sean, I've always said what people do in their personal lives is their business.
But they're showing the whole world, and then you're running for office, and then you're upset that how dare this ever get released?
That is the real issue here, is we have a person who is running for public office who chose to participate in the pornography industry that does a tremendous amount of damage to people's lives, a tremendous amount of damage to families, and it's eroding the foundation of morals and values for the next generation coming up. And so that's the real question before voters here is, when you have someone running for public office who has knowingly contributed to this devastating and damaging industry, it tells me she doesn't care about others, and she doesn't care or think about what the negative consequences of her own actions will be on society. Do you really want someone like that in a position where the public will trust her to look out for them, their children, their families?
All right, let me ask you about third party. You're aware of the No Labels Party. Have you spoken to them?
I've spoken to them a lot. I've worked with them for years.
Okay.
I've gotten to know them.
Because you left the Democratic Party.
Over the last decade. I left the Democratic Party. I'm writing a book on why I left the Democratic Party. I got a lot to say about that. But I've worked with No Labels throughout the 8 years that I served in Congress. I've spoken at some of their events and worked with, I know them quite well.
Let me ask you this question, because I've asked you before, and I think you would be a potential candidate for that ticket. Have they asked you? Have they asked you to consider? Are you considering?
I've heard my name floated in their conversations.
Just heard it in passing.
No, well, yeah. I mean, they're doing all their polling and they're doing all this stuff. I'm aware of what they're doing.
But you are on their radar for sure.
Yes,
fair statement?
I think that's a fair statement.
Okay. You, Joe Manchin, maybe?
He's definitely front and center on their radar.
Who else would be on that radar?
You mentioned Andrew Yang. You know, he and I are friends. We got along really well in 2020, and he's, when it comes to politics, a more independent-minded person. It's not surprising to me that he's looking at what they're doing.
What impact do you think a no party's candidate could have? How deep could they go? I believe Ross Perot got 19% of the vote, if my memory serves me right.
It's a question mark. You know, this is the mission that they're on. This is why they're getting criticized quite a bit. It's one that many people say is impossible. But to me, it comes down to voters being able to make the choice for themselves. That's what our democracy should be
The issue of running for president, is that appealing to you?
I've decided to dedicate my life to serving our country and the American people.
And if you could serve in that capacity?
That's the best way that I could make an impact, absolutely.
Thank you for a fair answer. That's a fair answer. Most people dodge, duck, and weave. You answered it. Great to see you. Tulsi Gabbard, thank you. Up next, woke corporations. They are inserting left-wing politics into every aspect of our lives. Now, one former MLB star, who I happen to love a lot, is fighting back. He'll join us right after the break. Straight ahead.